I'm going to show you how to make a soundboard for OBS controlled by TouchPortal that has crossfades like this. So it kind of goes from that one to slowing down to a different type of music. Then you can kill them all. Welcome to the Shrugbuds channel. I'm Harvey, and me and my best pal, the magical Rumpelstiltskin, like to hang out and watch movies and review movies and talk about all sorts of fun stuff like that, fairy tale stuff. And also we stream on Twitch, so follow us on Twitch because we'll be streaming there a couple times a week. Now back to the topic at hand and the reason you're here. You're going to learn some stuff. Okay, first off, you're going to need the Move plugin from OBS. That's right here. I'll put a link down below. Okay, so I'm going to grab a few pieces of music here. You want to make sure that restart playback when source becomes active is enabled. If you want the audio to loop, then check that. I don't want it to loop. And then I'm going to go into the advanced audio settings here, turn it to monitor and output, and I'll pause all these so it's not a cacophony. The other thing I want to do is just make sure that my track assignments are set. Now we need to add the move filter. You want to add move value. So you want to name it MV for move filter and then fade in. And it's important that you name it this because the script will look for this filter. So I add that and I change it to source volume. And I want, since it's fade in, I want the source volume to be at 100%. And then I'll have it fade in for, let's say, 1 second. I will duplicate this and I'll make my fade out filter. And I want this to be at 0, source volume good. And then I will make this 3000 milliseconds for the fade out. And then I'll close that and I will copy the filter and I will paste the filter on all the tracks. And then I will go in and make sure that these values are what I want them to be, because if you notice the fade out, it didn't transfer over. I need to press 0 again here to get it back where I want it. So make sure that the values are correct because sometimes they won't paste over. Okay, so now I have 3 tracks here with the move filters on them. So now I will get the script going. It's called toggle and fade. Since I have this added, I need to change the hide delay, and I want that to be 3200 because in the move value, I put 3000. So it'll take 3000 milliseconds to fade out, and then it'll wait just a little bit to give it a little gap, and then it'll disable the layer. The other thing I need to do in here is add my scene. So my scene's called test, and you have to make sure that it's all spelled the same. And then you close that up, and now let's test it out. So that's fading in, and then the next one fades out. So every time a layer is activated, the last layer fades out. Cool. Okay, so one last thing to do is add key commands, some hotkeys, to make everything fade out at the same time when we want it all to die out, when we want all the music to end. Something that helps is if you rename all of your files so that they have a letter at the beginning. I'll just do Y. Doesn't really matter. You could do M for music. And now go up to the settings and go to hotkeys and then filter for Y underscore, and these will all come up. And so we want to create a hotkey to hide these. So I'll do Shift Option W. It doesn't really matter what it is, but this is what I've used in my TouchPortal setup already. So I'll keep it going. And the other hotkey that I want to set up is for fade out. Here's all my Y files here, and I'll do Shift Alt Control W. And basically you just want to pick a hotkey that isn't going to be used for anything else. Okay, and then I'll apply it. So now that the hotkey is set up, we're all ready to go into TouchPortal. Okay, so the first thing you want to do here is create a new value. I already have it set up, but you go here and go add a value. And then you want to call it Soundboard, all lowercase. And you could name it Soundboard Button States, because that's what it is. Default value 1, and then the value type is number. And all this is doing is keeping track of whether the button is on or off. Okay, and now we can import some button presets that I've created. So let's just do this regular button here. And you can double click on it. And then when you see in here, what it does is it turns the value of the button to 2, which is off first, just to reset it, to make sure that nothing funky happens before we get everything else going here. So then the next action on here is that it shows a specific source in OBS. And so this one you want to change for each button you add. You want to select your scene, which I guess this scene we've been working on is called test, and then pick a source, okay? And then change the title so that you know which source it is. And then the rest of this just turns the button on and off, basically. And there's an event on here too, which helps turn the button on and off. And I've created a little icon here for a little on light. And as you can see above, this is the off state. Okay, so then you can just save that and close it. So basically all you're changing is this action here to reflect the audio source you want the button to turn on and off. So basically you do that for every sound that you have added to the soundboard, and then you want to add a kill button that turns them all off at the same time in case you want just all the music to end. So I have a different template for that, button kill. You can open that up, and you don't need to do anything if you use the same key commands as I did, which is Shift Alt Control W and Shift Control W. But if you did use different key commands, you're going to want to change them. So the first one here is to trigger the fade out. So you want this to be the key command for your fade out hotkey that you put in OBS on each layer. So then the next key press is to hide all of the sources. So the first one is to trigger the fade out, then it waits 3,000 milliseconds for the fade out to occur, and then it hides the layers. And it'll do that on all of them because we set these key commands for every layer in that scene. And that's about it. If you want, you can go in and you can change the look, you can change the icons in here. The on state will be here on the on pressed, and then the off state will just be whatever you set as the default for your button. So I hope this helps you out. It took me a long time to figure it out. I was looking everywhere for solutions, and this is the one that ended up working for me. Let me know if you end up using it down in the comments below. And thanks for watching this how-to.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you click like and be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe right up here. There's a button.
Yeah, look at that.
You can press it.
Look at that beautiful
don't
button.
Be afraid. It's not scary, and it won't even charge you nothing.